So I apologize in advance for a section of this video missing. You'll hear me say in the video that I have a clip of me running the rototiller in the big garden spot. And I wish I did because it was really epic. It was like jumping 2 feet off the ground. That ground is so rough and uneven. But what happened was, this is a real confession. You guys are going to love this. I was turning the camera around, hit the button to turn it around to face me, to talk to you guys right before I put the tiller in there, and I forgot to hit the button to have it face back. So it was facing the wrong direction the whole time I tilled that ground. So I don't have that footage and I apologize. I thought about scrapping the whole video, but then I thought you guys would like to see what I did get just the same of gardening. So I am going to go ahead and do this video anyways. Thanks for being understanding, and I hope you guys have a good laugh on me. There's the carrots. You can see they need to be thinned. We don't have any of the Danvers that have come up, but the long Imperator and the Scarlet Nantes are all up, and we've only got one parsnip that came up. So this is the current state of my lawn right now. A lot of Maine towns had asked Mainers to wait until June 1st to mow their lawns because of bees and butterflies, and so we've been super busy, as you guys know, with the kitchen and the pickup, and now we need to get the garden in and all that. So I thought, well, I'll just do that. I'll wait till June 1st, but you can see it's really super bad. So as soon as I get that garden in, I will have the guys get one of the gas-powered lawnmowers out for me, and I'll work on that a little bit this week while they're at work. Yesterday, Jacob and I did some tree trimming. We trimmed all of the apple trees, everything dead off of them, and then we started cutting trees, and we cut trees all through the garden area, around the garden area, and all the way back to the big tree line. We got rid of anything that wasn't originally here when we bought the property. We just cut it right back. Well, I guess we did selectively leave a few trees, but anyways, the problem in Maine isn't trying to get a tree to grow, it's trying to keep them back all the time to where you don't lose your lawn. So I'm going to head out to my big garden spot, and I'm going to begin by weed whacking it before I till. That way I can see really good and I don't end up hitting something with my little tiller that I don't want to hit. And I'm just going to turn the camera on and let it get a few clips of me here and there. It's not like I have anybody to film me today. All right, let's get going. Okay, I did make it far before I'm out of string. Gotta go get some string. Okay, she's all weed whacked. This is my third summer planting here, and it's still like trying to carve a garden out of the wilderness. I got all kinds of tree roots still from last year that I couldn't get up. I'm going to try to cut those out more with my saw. I'm going to go in now and get my guys some lunch. Okay guys, I'm really nervous about putting that Ryobi tiller in this ground. You guys that have been with the channel for a while know it was right full of rocks and glass and all kinds of awful stuff last year. But I've got no choice, so I prayed that I have the strength to do this job and that the tiller is able to do this job. So I'm going to go get the extension cord and we'll get started. Hi guys. So this is what happened with the tilling yesterday. I was glad that I prayed. It was a lot on that tiller in that spot, and I'm sure you guys can see that from the little bit of video footage that I did get. Towards the end of the day, I hit a piece of like metal. It was like the bail off of an old mop, and it come around my twines and slowed the motor up. And then I sucked in a great big rock. It was like oblong, that big, and it jammed my tines forward and backwards. And I had to go get my son and my husband, and they tried to take the tines off. It was too jammed. They fought and fought and fought. They ended up prying the rock out with a crowbar, and then taking the tines off, cleaning the metal and the grass out of there, and putting the tines back on. Waited for the motor to cool down, fired right up. It was tilling again. Unbelievable, right? An absolute miracle. It should have just blown the whole thing. It was such a tragic deal, and you know that's why I hated to put it down in there, because I knew from last year how bad that spot was, even with all the rock picking that I've done the last 2 years and having my husband pick out big rocks with a crane and everything. It's just that bad. So I got started again. I had already tilled the whole thing over fairly good once, but I wanted to go back in, and just kind of fluff. Bad idea. I caught a piece of plastic strapping that was buried in the ground, and it did the same thing. It went around the tines, slowed the motor down, sucked up a rock. This time it was a round one, about that big around and about that thick, jammed in there. So I went and got my husband. I hated to bother my son, and he couldn't get it out. He has a really bad arm, and he had been working on the pickup body work all day, which, by the way, he did finish that job. Thank you, Jesus. And it looks really well. And so he said, I can't do it. My arm is killing me from the last one. He said, I can't bang that out of there. I said, well, put it in the garage and I will just notify Jacob. I've got it tilled enough, I can use the hoe to make my mounds, because what I'm going to plant in there is like cukes and squash and stuff. So I said it'll be okay, and he could just get to it when he can get to it. So my son likes to be notified of stuff right away, though, so I did notify him what was going on, and he come down and he was able to bang the rock out. First thing, same deal, it's fine, still runs, everything's good there, but I'm not putting it down in there for the rest of this year. I'm going to continue with the hoe and pick more rocks and stuff, you know. But I did get it tilled enough that I can go ahead and make my mounds and watch for rocks. And actually, I'll put it in the fall, you know, and till everything under. That's what I'll do. So that is the update on that, guys. If that little machine was able to do what it did, I would recommend it for anybody. Like, nobody else's situation is going to be as weird as mine, you know? So that's my thoughts there. Now, before I go out to do the hoeing of the mounds and the actual planting, I thought I'd give you a little shot of my map and what I'm going to be planting. Here is roughly what I'm planting. It may go a little bit different when I get out there. But over on the left backhand side of my garden, I am going to put New England pumpkin, then buttercup squash, which will be a seed saved by my aunt and uncle, and then spaghetti squash. I've had good luck with that. And then 2 kinds of zucchini, dark green zucchini and Ford Hook zucchini. Then I have a summer squash. It's an early prolific straight neck. If I can get it in that same row, I can. If not, it'll be down here. And same with these. When I go to put them in, I may need 2 rows, but that back section's going to be my squash section. And those are the varieties. Now, last year I planted my beans over in here, and they are a nitrogen builder. So what I try to do is not put my beans in the same place twice. I like to switch around my beans and my cukes. So my cukes will be going in this area with the exception of the Kentucky Wonder pole beans that Becky sent me from Kentucky. I'm going to put those right in the center of the garden and then trellis them upwards. Okay, so 4 cukes. I'm doing a Muncher cuke, a Beta Alpha cuke, a Chicago pickling cuke, Early Fortune cukes, and National pickling cukes. And they're going to be just scattered in mounds. And then my son came up with the idea that if I run a fence right at an angle between my mounds, I can probably trellis them up onto the fence okay. So then over here, this was a squash section last year and cucumber section. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of my beans in, and we're going to do Royal Burgundy beans, Cherokee Wax yellow beans, and red swan beans. So this will be green, purple, yellow, and pink. And then this will be assorted tomatoes. And you guys know for tomatoes, I have the chocolate cherry one that my aunt gave me. I have the one that we call Item A, that is an unknown Amish variety bought from local Amish. And then I have some Early Girls that my mother is going to switch me for some of mine. She bought those at an Amish stand. I'll be switching her this week. And then I planted Celebrity, some mystery tomatoes that came from one of my husband's co-workers a few years ago. He sent us over a bag of garden tomatoes from his dad's garden, and I seed saved off of all of those into one envelope. And then I have got Homestead, Cherokee Purple, Matt's Wild Cherry Tomato, which was the variety last year that was at least 8 feet tall and consumed my deck after it grew all the way up the side of my deck. And did I plant any other ones? I think that might be it. So I'll put an assortment in there, and I'm still going to leave some in the greenhouse for now because we still may get some weather that's a little questionable. So if something was to not make it, I could just switch it out. I've got way more tomato plants than I need. All right, so then I'm going to scatter marigold seeds here, there, and everywhere around the garden because that helps to keep away pests. That's my main garden, and you guys know in my back garden, I had planted the peas and potatoes, and then I've got raised gardens that are going to be planted in flower pots, and we planted in those Misfits boxes. So we got a lot of stuff going on yet. You know, I'm in Maine, so my gardening season runs a little later than other people. So I will be really getting rolling with this stuff now. Now I'm going to go along and add a marigold to each one. Okay, everything's in that was from seed on my map, and I still have extra space. So I'm not going to show this on video, but I'm going to work in some of my herb plants that I started along with some extra dill seed. I may scatter a few other types of flowers out here like poppies and stuff, and then I'm going to put in a few of my tomato plants, but I have got to take a break. I am just exhausted. I'm going to go in and get a cold drink, and then I'll be out to finish later. Hi everyone. Before I take you over and show you the planted garden, I wanted to show you I did not plant all of my tomato plants yet. We are still getting some cold nights here, and I just don't trust putting them all in the ground yet. But last night I went over to my parents' house for supper, and we did a little tomato plant swap. They wanted just one Cherokee Purple and one Celebrity of mine. And then in exchange, they gave me 5 Early Girl tomato plants from the Amish greenhouse. So that is what is going on with my tomatoes. Let's go take a look at that planted garden. Okay, there it is. With the extra space, I added some zinnia flowers around the center where I planted the Kentucky pole beans. And then I planted in one of the spaces some poppies. And then I put my parsley, oregano, and dill plants out here. And then I worked some lettuce seeds in along the edge. And I still want to put some more marigold seeds out here. I got really tired the other day, but I still need to do the marigold seeds in and around the tomato plants. But these tomato plants have been out here Monday and Tuesday night, and it was cold, like not frost, but like 40 degrees last night. And you can see they are still doing okay. The first night we got terribly hard rain, and when I come out in the morning, they were kind of pounded into the ground, but then when the sun come up really bright, they pulled themselves right up out of the ground, out of the dirt where they were laying, you know, and really revived themselves. So anyhow, that is what I've done. And it's along the edge. You can see to the right hand side right there is my parsley. And then over there further, right there is my oregano, and my dill's next to that. So that's what I did. And so I was praying about containers that I could put extra tomato plants in, because I'm going to be out of space on the ground, and I have more than my raised beds are going to be able to take. And I really didn't want to spend any more money on garden stuff this year. I've spent enough. You know, I have a certain limit I set myself, and that's it, because I could just get, you know, over the top with it, and I don't want to do that. It should be something that's fairly budget friendly for me to do. So I was praying about that, and then I had like that lavender that come up, and I've got that pepper plant that Jacob got me the seed for, and all this different stuff. And I thought, well, I could go back into Dollar General and I could get the buckets at $2.50 a piece, and, you know, get a couple a week or whatever, kind of just add it in with my groceries and do that if I need to. But I was praying because I really wanted something maybe that would look a little better, because those blueberry bushes obviously aren't going to be grown in time to put them around the hedges over by the garage doors this year. And I wanted some like color up on that hill and something interesting there in the meantime. So I kid you not, when I went to drop off my trash at the dump today, right in front of the reusable section, somebody had dropped off the answer to my prayer, and I'm going to drop this tailgate and show you. Gotta make sure you can see. Okay, that is five of those buckets. Now, the guy at the dump told me, and I was having a really bad day today, and I ended up going in the middle of cooking my guys' big meal before they went to work. I had to say, just watch this for a minute. I've got to go right now. And the guy at the dump told me the vehicle ahead of me dropped these off. And I got there just in time to get them before somebody else did. And if that's not God, I don't know what is. But look at how awesome these buckets are. They even have the wooden handles. He said he thought that they were maybe old ice cream maker buckets. But anyways, they are so thick and so nice. And I have 5 of them. Now, I know for sure lavender is going in one of them. And then what goes in the others may still be determined. I may actually go to a greenhouse and get a few flowers, you know, to mix in with the buckets that are already blossomed, because it takes so long to get stuff going. Nothing major, you know, just like maybe one flat of flowers, but we'll see what I do with those. But anyways, I wanted to show you guys that. And I know this video is super long, but thank you for watching. Leave me a comment. I love to read your comments. There'll be plenty more garden videos yet. I still have not planted any of my raised beds. And of course, now we have these buckets. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.